A very good evening to you on this beautiful Sunday night. Well, actually, it's not beautiful at all. It's really windy and stormy outside. I hope it's like it was really lushing it down earlier. I hope it's not going to disturb us at all. Right, I got Natalie on the other side of the table. Sorry, my other camera for some reason doesn't work. So we're just going to have to kind of share. And she's going to come and sit in the seat some point to show you what she's up to, but like you can guess what she's up to. She's got wire. Surprise, surprise, Natalie's got wire. So I hope you can hear her.
Hi.
Just say hi, Natalie.
Hello everybody, you okay?
Just let me know if you can hear her loud and clear, if our microphone is working all right, because using a different one tonight, using the little lapel one. So just want to know that everybody can hear us loud and clear. Hi Lindsay, hi Mina, nice to see you here. Lucy's here. Good evening, my lovely. Michelle is here as well. Right, so I popped a question in a pop of the chat. I want to know what is your favorite bead. I think like every Sunday we're gonna go with a question. So like you come in and we already got something to talk about. So Michelle is saying, I like a super duo, but can't beat a seed bead. So versatile, absolutely. Seed beads. I love seed beads, all those sort of different sizes. And super duos are so versatile because they can bind two different thread paths together. So tonight I thought, because I always play with needle and thread, so tonight I thought I want to experiment a little bit with tiger tail and just show a few different techniques that when I do tiger tail, there's so many different tiger tail techniques that just experiment a little bit with it and see what we can come up with. And also when you working with tiger tail, it really speeds up. It doesn't just have to be a single strand. There is so many different things we can do, but it really speeds up the progress and process of what you're doing. We can still use seed beads as actually let me just turn you down on the table. You can still use seed beads as your, just zooming in. There we go. So you can still use seed beads as your filler beads, as spacer beads, but we're gonna have so much fun. I have to be honest, I haven't played with tiger tail for a very, very long time. Lucy's saying seed beads are my favorite too. Oh no, Lindsay's saying seed beads are my favorite too, and Lucy's saying all of them my favorite. I suppose it depends, like what we are playing with or what we're doing. My one can change as well. What's yours, Natalie? What's your favourite bead?
It's a gemstone bead, isn't it? Let's be honest. I'm obsessed with anything gemstone. I do love the Toho. I think, as you say with the seed bead, there's loads of different things you can do with it. But for me, my go-to is always gemstone bead. I don't mind the size. I'll even have a chip. Yeah, anything sparkly.
I think I'm there with you as well. I'm like a little magpie at times as well. Anything sparkly and I'm there. Right, the first thing I want to do, I'm gonna do a bracelet. I'm gonna use these hearts, and I want to use a triple strand technique. So I'm gonna cut 3 lengths of tiger tail, and each one is about maybe a foot length. I like to work with a little bit longer. I know it's a bit of a wastage, but it's better to work with a little bit longer and you cut a little bit off at the end than not have enough. So we're going to use these ones as well later on. Barbara is here. Good evening, lovely. Celia's here. Celia's saying she likes gem duo. I love gem duos as well. Lucy's saying, hoping that you and Natalie had a lovely weekend. We've been like so, I don't even know. We worked out projects, we put bundles together, we did so many different things. Like, do you remember what we put together, Natalie?
No, not really. Couldn't tell you what I'm doing next week, but we've been extremely busy.
We had ideas when I said, shall we do this? And it was like, nah, I don't fancy that. And then she goes like, oh, actually, it looks quite good. I was like, thank you. I'm not going to give away. What was it?
I just need to trust the expert, don't I? So I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that. And then we do something and think, actually, that looks really nice. There was, I don't want to give it away, but those things with the things.
the things with the things, that's all you're getting.
The things with the things were really lovely.
They are really sparkly. That's all we're going to give away. Very, very sparkly and very, very easy make. Right, okay, so I got a culotte here. A culotte is like two little balls stuck together like a clamshell. There is a hole at the bottom and there are loops at the top, which then we can connect our clasp into. So I'm going to put all 3 tiger tail through this culotte. And then I'm going to get a crimp bead onto all 3 of those tiger tails and crimp it on there. So we got a nice start. Now I always double crimp everything. Let me just zoom in one more and then we can make up all sorts of different patterns. So I am just going to grab a crimp bead. Now when I'm trying to get a crimp bead onto 3 length of tiger tail, what I do, I stagger them. So I hold them that one of them is longer, medium and shorter, because as I'm pushing it on, it's always easier. So I'm pushing it up, so meeting the second one where the first one is just there, and then quite easily goes on there. And I'm doing the same thing with the third one as well, just pushing it right in. And then we got our crimp bead there. Now I'm going to go ahead and crimp it. Actually, let's put the second one on as well. And I want to show you a little bit of a trick. I can't even talk already. So it's been a long day. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. So if you're trying to put your crimp bead on and for some reason it just doesn't want to go on that third one, what I usually do, I take my pliers, I hold the crimp bead, and I'm going to show you from above, and I just squeeze it just a tiny bit to make it a little bit of an oval shape. I'm not squeezing it all the way, so I don't want to crimp it. I just squeezed it a little bit to make it a little bit of an oval shape. And then I can easier add the other tiger tails in, especially if you want to add 4 on there, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, actually then I don't need to trim it. So if I'm going to make them all the same length, I'm going to bring up my first one and just crimp it right at the end. I'm just going to squeeze it right out. And then I'm going to bring up the second one and crimp that as well. So especially on bracelets, I like to double crimp because that is your weakest point in the whole of your bracelet. So we got 3 strands here. I'm going to bring up the culotte and I'm going to close it in just like that. So this is the last weekend. We're playing with the January bundle, and next weekend we're going to have a new one out. I'm hoping the guy's going to be able to sort it all out on the website and put it on. Right, Gwen, we are sending you loads of hugs and kisses, lovely. Welcome to the live. I'm really glad you are here. Celia said she likes Jamdo. Just quickly gonna, everybody's sending you hugs and kisses. Good evening, Barbara. Michelle sending hugs to Gwen. Everybody's sending hugs to Gwen. Jeremy saying beautiful shades of purple. I do love a purple bead. Good evening, Amelia. Mina sending hugs to Gwen as well. Rachel, you are here. We're just getting started. Good evening, Diane. Janet is here. Gwen. Lucy. We are being both secretive. Lucy, we're not just being secretive, we just seriously don't know. We put so much together. I probably, out of the, I don't know, we've done about 25 projects. I could maybe name about 3 or 4.
As long as I know what I'm doing on the day of the live, I'll be fine.
It's all labelled up, so it's all bagged up and labelled up, so she will be fine. Good evening, Angela. Have you been on the wine? No, not tonight. We went on Friday night. We had a couple of cocktails on Friday night.
We had Galentine's Day, didn't we? Instead of Valentine's. It was just us girls.
And Lucy popped the link in for the bundle we're using tonight. Jo is here. Hi, Jo. She said she's watching with sound off, but need to have a pee at what you're doing. Is Natalie with you? Yes, she's here.
Hiya.
Well, if she hasn't got the sound on, she can't hear us, can she?
Oh, no. I'm waving.
Right. Okay, so let's get started. Good evening, Lorna. So I crimped my little coloton. I got 3 strands here, and I'm gonna get started. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use one of the larger beads, which is gonna be this heart, as my focal point, and then I'm gonna use smaller beads sort of to go in and out of the larger bead. So we have got the illusion that 3 strands going through, but in some of the beads they will be only 1 strand. So I don't know how many, it's depending on how full. So these ones, when you do these ones, you could make them a little bit less fuller, and therefore you could have more wire showing, or you can fill up the wire as much you want. If you're going to fill up the wire all the way, then I suggest that you kind of do the same pattern or similar, maybe the same size and number of beads in each one of the sections, but adding them like in different order, so they look like a little bit sort of jumbled up, because you want the same length. You don't want one stand out more than the other. If you are having exposed wire, then it doesn't really matter. So we could try both method. I'm probably not going to maybe use this very small one, put that at the back. So I got 4mm pearls, I got 6mm crystals, 4mm crystals. I think I'm going to use the 6mm pearls as well. And then let me just, I'm going to have to cut it because I put a knot on the end, so the pearls are not coming off. Whenever I like half use a strand, I just pop a knot at the end of it, so they do stay on there. So I'm going to start with a couple of smaller beads to fan out my tiger tail. So yeah, let's use those very small ones, very small crystals as well. I think they would be really good at the end there. This is the 1x2mm real crystal, little crystal one. But equally, we could use some seed beads as well as filler beads. But I'm just going to leave the seed beads out for a sec. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple of small crystals to the end of my tiger tail. I'm going to use my tiger tail kind of like a needle, picking them up because they're quite smallish. And then that is just because at the very beginning they're all going into one collet, so you want to use the smallest bead possible there. There we go. And if I pull it up and just untwist those tiger tails, so they're going to be going in my collet, and from here I'm going to use the same pattern. So I probably, let's fill up each section of the tiger tail. So I'm probably going to use a pearl, a crystal, another crystal, a larger pearl, maybe another crystal and another smaller pearl. I think that is kinda enough for each one of the sections. So I want to go ahead, maybe add a couple of smaller ones on each side. There we go. I want to go ahead and start with the smaller one. Even though I added smaller ones, I'm going to add another one. And then I'm just going to pick them up in any order. Now you could plan this out on your mat and just have them ready to be added on. But any order you want to add your beads on, just a few beads. We want to make sure the sections are equal in length. And I'm just going to add this last little crystal, and I'm going to add a larger one on here, and I'll show you what is it going to look like. So maybe it's too much. I want these hearts closer together actually, so I need less beads, or maybe for the first one we could have more of one, and then we're going to have less on the other ones. So it doesn't really matter, it's your own design, so you can do whatever you like, but I think this section is just too big. So I'm gonna take it back out. Sometimes you just have to kind of like play with it. So if we want to make them smaller, then perhaps we just want kind of like that much for each section. And that will give us, so we could use pearl on one, crystal on the other, and maybe a crystal or pearl on the third one as well. So I'm just going to plan these out quickly here. So they both 6mm, they both 4mm. So they're kind of gonna be the same length. And I'm gonna use, don't need that one. I'm gonna do these three of the strands. That's what they're going to look like. I don't need those because I have them on the end already. And just string them on. Now, if you have got a question, then do put a cue in front of your question so I know the question is for me or Natalie, and read it out so we can answer it for you. If you would like to know or suggest or anything about any technique, we can, or we have got a question, anything, I'm saying, go on any different question than what we're doing tonight, then please write that down as well so we can bring to attention and maybe plan and do it. We can show it to you tonight or plan for a future live. So I'm just adding the third one. So crystal, crystal, pearl, and oh, come on, pearl. Just almost pinged away, rolling around on my mat. And then I'm going to bring all three tiger tails together and I'm going to add the heart on. So I'm going to have to add the heart on the same way every single time. So they're going to sit the same way. And I'm going to bring this right down. So I want this quite tight. So when I'm going to do my bracelet, if I leave it loose and I leave some length, they somewhat going to flatten out and they're just going to kind of like sit, and you're going to see some of the tiger tail exposed. But I want this semi-tight. So I'm gonna, before we crimp the other side, if we wanted to, we could pull out on the side ones and we could have added an extra bead so they sit more flatter, but I want them to sit more like bubbled up like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make more sections, and always after every single section, bring it together with a heart. So you could have different sections adding different beads in. You could have looser sections. It's really up to you. So I'm just adding one small one, and then I'm gonna add a 4mm. It doesn't have to be the same one. I'm gonna do 2 pearls and a 4mm crystal on the third one. Then I'm gonna do crystal, crystal. I'm gonna do a 6mm pearl on this one, and then let's do pearl, crystal, crystal. Natalie, what you're up to?
I'm kind of playing about with bracelet at the moment, and then I'm probably gonna do maybe some earrings and a pendant. It depends how long I can I'll be sitting here all night playing, I think. My bracelet's not going too well, but I'm just experimenting.
Oh good. What are you using?
I'm using some lovely little pearls and some colour remain wire. So I'm using the gold at the moment in a 0.8. Not doing any weaving with it, I'm just trying to do like a bit of a plait design. But yeah, as I say, I'm just experimenting.
And that's all we do, that's experimenting. That's the beauty of it. You can, and even if like something doesn't go your way with beads, that's the beauty of beads. Like with card crafts, sometimes if you glue the paper down, you can't get it back up. But with beads, I can cut the tiger tail up and I can rescue the beads and start again and use them for something different. Helen is here. Right, Helen. Very, very well done. I am so proud of you. So anybody who doesn't know, Helen went to London and run 10K today for charity.
Wow.
I am so proud of you. Well done, honey.
Well done, Helen.
I'm just like, it is something, but like I can't run for my life.
Well, if you do run, you're running for your life. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, but I would like after like 10 meters, I would probably just
I only run if something's chasing me.
Does Frank chases you then around?
Yeah.
Frank is Natalie's son, and he's 3.
What charity was it for?
I'm not sure. Helen, can you let us know what charity did you do it for? I've read it, but for, you know me, like with me and names and everything else, it stays in my brain precisely for 5 seconds. But well done. I'm really jealous of she had a lovely big medal as well.
Deserve it by the sound.
This very, very deserve it. So well done. Right, I'm just adding the same sort of beads into every single section, and then I'm gonna add. Oh, Lucy's saying you're amazing, Helen. Well done, honey. Hi, Teresa. Teresa's here. Well done, Helen. Joe is saying. Oh, Mina's saying she's enjoying a glass of wine after 2 weeks. Ooh, maybe we should have a glass of wine after the live, Natalie.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. Oh, Joe's saying she couldn't understand what we were saying with the earphone on. She's got with the subtitles on. She went and got earphones. So I got like 3 sections. I'm probably gonna need another 2 on this one, and then we will be able to shape it a little bit. I need more of the small crystals as well. So don't forget, there is a pinned comment at the top. I want to know what is your favorite bead. Everybody's saying, well done, Helen. That is fantastic. Well done. What is your favorite bead? Let me know in the comments. What is your favorite bead? Well, I mean, Joe, you don't need to tell me what's your favorite bead. I know what your favorite bead. So if you're typing, don't. Because I know it will be miracle beads.
What about you, Kitty? What's your favourite?
I don't know. For me, like, it's kind of changes time to time. I probably go between, like, seed beads are always there because I'm never far away from a seed bead. But for larger beads, like 1-hole beads, I probably go between pearls, crystals. Yeah, pearls and crystals, I guess. And then for like shaped beads or 2-hole beads or 3-hole beads, I do like quite a few of them. Probably super jewels are the most versatile. A lot of things you can do with them and gem duos, but I do like the Amos beads, the little drops. I like them all really. It's hard to choose because you're always so excited about the beads, what you're using in that week or that month, and then once you played with it enough, then you you kind of like choose a different one to play with. But I really do love them all. Mina's saying crystals, Barbara is saying seed beads.
I think it depends what you're making as well, doesn't it? I think, each thing has its purpose and its use.
I think what it is as well, that sometimes you forget about certain makes and certain beads, because like, I don't know if you the same, but sometimes I get into the same sort of, like, for example, beading stitches. I keep using herringbone stitch for a while, and then I go back to right angle weave and use right angle weave all the time, and then I go back to and use a different stitch. So I keep, I don't know if I want them to sort of, no, I think I like them. If I want them a little, maybe just a tiny bit looser, so there is a little bit of a movement on it, I think. Don't want it too tight, but just, I don't want to show too much tiger tail, but this is the beauty of tiger tail, that you can have the tiger tail sort of show, but I don't want it to show too much, but just have a little bit of movement on those beads, on the little clusters. I think it's really pretty. So let's add another section, and I think that will be my size. If you were making one for Natalie, then we would not need any more sections at all.
Speaking of making one for Natalie, I am modelling my lovely bracelet that you've just gifted thanking me, so thank you very much for
Oh, you're welcome. The bracelet I made on Friday on the live. You like people? It's like always think like, oh well, I'm gonna make this for Sarah. I'm gonna make this for like Lucy or my Lucy or Natalie and people just think like I just say that, but no, I really do. I do. If I make something, I do always give it to people.
that. It fits very nice as well.
I was a bit worried because I don't really know your wrist side.
Tiny.
DIY dream wedding thing. This looks very interesting. So if you just joined us, we're just playing with some tiger tail. Well, I'm playing with some tiger tail. I got Natalie here on the other side of the table. Unfortunately, the other camera doesn't work, so you can't see her, but she will come over and show you what she's up to. We are just playing with a bunch of beads, really. I'm doing a... I'm using 3 strands of tiger tail and then doing sort of a focal bead here and there just to create a pattern, because just because you're using tiger tail, it doesn't mean you have to have just a single strand necklace or bracelet. There is so many other ways you can use it. The only thing you kind of want to make sure when you do something like this, and I'll bring you up and show you, that you kind of use the same number of beads or the same size of beads, or not, it doesn't have to be the same size, but then the same length on each of the sections so they look even. Louis saying crystals and pearls. Oh, I love crystals and pearls. Right, a heart, and then I think I have to add one more section, and then it will be the clasp. So I'm just making a little bracelet. So we are always having 3 strands of tiger tail. We're adding each tiger tail, we're adding a section of beads, and then we're putting 3 tiger tails together and bringing it through a larger heart. That's it. And I'm just gonna, and you can cheat with this. That's the beauty as well, because when you get to sort of towards the end and you try it out and you don't quite need a whole section, then you can just loosen it up a bit. If you make your last section and it's a little bit too big, then you go ahead and just tighten your sections up a bit. So this is a perfect technique to kind of like cheat. I think, do I need another section? If I want it tighter, let me just veer it around, put it around my wrist. If I want it tighter, I think, yeah, I will need one more section. I've got extremely large wrist. That's why I probably really enjoy making jewelry, because I can make it to the right size I need it to be. Hi Lacia, good evening, lovely. So she's saying, hi Kitty and Natalie, I think seed beads are the staple of my favorite and all of the other beads. It depends what are we making, absolutely. Absolutely depends, but I think in a way, like if you have to, the way how I guess would think about it. So if I have to go away on somewhere for a week and all I was allowed to take is maybe a bag full of beads, I mean it would be a huge bag. Sorry, that's not the I need the former because it would be a huge bag, but
depending on how you're going, you'd need a whole plane or a whole train carriage.
But you only allowed to take a bag full of beads. So what would you put in that bag? Like, would it be seed beads, crystals, pearls? And I think that would tell you what's your favorite, what you like to tinker with it most. For me, definitely needle and thread would be there with seed beads. I would probably take some larger beads, maybe some.
How disappointed would you be if you went on your desert island and you had your bag full of all your chosen beads and then you forgot your needle and your thread?
Probably I would find a way how to make some thread from some of the plants, I guess. I would come up with something. I think this one is going to be really pretty. Right, I'm adding my last section and I don't need to add another heart anymore, and after that I'm going to be crimping it. Need a few more little ones. Here is the end, there is the end. Need a few more little ones, and then I want to show you another technique which I really like, which is kind of like a bit woven and and earrings. we could do with tiger tail. Oh, there is so many different things you can do with tiger tail.
I love how versatile tiger tail is.
Right, okay. Joe's saying that's really pretty. I like one in blue. Yeah, I love blue as well, but you could mix the purple with blue. That would look really cool too. There's all sorts of different things we could do. Right, let's add a pearl onto this one. So I'm adding the same size beads. Some of them are different shape. Oh, pinging it across. I'm adding the same size beads. And this is the very last section. And I need a 6mm crystal, so I'm just grab one off the strand. And then going back down inside. So I went from small, medium to large, and then back down to medium, and then small. So kind of have like a pattern going here. And we need some smaller crystals as well. 1, 2, and then instead of just one, I'm gonna add 2 tiny ones onto each one of the strand, because this is the end and it's tapering into the other colored. And then we're gonna go ahead and crimp it. So 1, 2. I need more of the smaller ones. Joe is saying, oh Lucy, we all know you love pinks. Yes, we know Lucy. Lucy loves pinks. It must be something about the name Lucy, because, well, I don't know if my Lucy loves pinks as well. She used to love pink. Everything had to be pink when she was little. She even made us the pink Christmas tree. And first I thought, I'm not sure how's this going to look, but it really did look nice. How are you doing, Natalie? What are you up to?
I have given up on the bracelet, and I'm going to start a ring, I think.
What sort of ring you gonna make?
I don't know. I was going to do something maybe heart-shaped for Valentine's, but I don't know. Something beaded and sweet and cute, I think. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just having a faff. But I'm enjoying myself. That's the main thing.
Playing. Well, I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. So I'm just pulling the sections down, then pulling the main bead down, then pulling the sections down. And then I'm going to take all 3 tiger tails through my culotte from the bottom of it. And I'm going to add a couple of crimp beads on as well at the same time. 1, 2, 3. And another one going on. And sometimes, like when I'm adding the crimp bead on, sometimes I twist it around a little bit, and then it goes on easier to the next tiger tail. There we go. So I'm going to pull this down, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my pliers, my chainless pliers. I'm going to grab onto that crimp bead. Now I can still move it up and down, so I'm not holding it very tight, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my plier and kind of like hold it towards the collar itself. If you need to, you can always open up the collar a little bit more. And I'm just going to hold on to this crimp bead and then pull my tiger tail with one hand and push the crimp bead down towards the collar with my pliers, and then I'm just going to go ahead and crimp and squeeze that crimp bead there. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing with the other one, pulling with one hand, pushing with the other, pushing down with the other. Just make sure, just pull that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and crimp this as well, right on top of the first one. And from here, I'm going to go in and trim. So I want to trim as close as I can to the cream bead itself. Now people do finish their necklaces off differently. Probably this is not that is cut it. People and do keep these little bits at the end, because I can show you a couple of tricks what we can do with the leftover tiger tail. So do people do finish off, and I'm just going to close up the clot just like that. And then we can add a jump ring and a lobster clasp or a toggle clasp or anything we'd like to do. I'm just going to go ahead and add a lobster clasp onto this one with two, and a jump ring on the other side. Oh, Celia is saying, I have made a Valentine Day's dream catcher. Do send me a picture. Ooh, and then I can bring it in and show it to everybody. Please do send me a picture. I would love to see that.
I'd love to see that too.
George is saying, I'm working on another flat herringbone necklace with triangle size 11 seed beads. Ooh, that sounds interesting as well. Lucy's saying, I was meant to be cleaning, it just didn't happen. Sometimes some days are just like that. Housework will bite. Like,
Sundays are fun days.
Oh, I haven't heard that one, but I think I'm going to make that my motto as well, Natalie. Thank you very much. Sundays, ladies, you heard it first. Sundays are fun days. You're not
but it could also work on Mondays, Tuesdays, and anything else for that matter.
Yeah. Sundays are fun days. Mondays are fun days. Tuesdays are fun days. Every day is a fun days. Lucy's saying the bracelet is so cute. I love it. Right, so opening up a jump ring, you're going to hold it with 2 pairs of pliers. You are going to twist one towards you, the other one away, just like that. If my camera would focus on the jump ring, come on camera, if I bring you up, will you focus? Yeah. So I'm twisting one away and the other one towards myself. Then I'm going to hook the bracelet on. Make sure you go through both of the loops and then twist it back in. So when I'm twisting it back in, I'm just going to go past the midway a little bit, just a tiny bit, and then it will spring shut. And that's it. And then we got our lovely little bracelet with 3 strands of tiger tail and a focal bead going in and out to give us a bit more of a structure. Now, we could have done this, let me just bring this up a bit, we could have done this on elastic as well. It would have worked, it would have looked really nice with elastic. However, when you have crystal beads as larger focal beads, I don't like to use elastic, because at the point where the elastic will come in and out of the crystal bead, it will, because you are putting 3 in there, it will always rub off. It will always rub to that. Sometimes you can have a little bit of sharp points. Sometimes the crystals are all right, but definitely they can be a little bit sharper on the edges. So if I have got a larger crystal beads, especially a shaped beads like this, when it goes into a point, I tend to shy away from elastic. I love elastic bracelets. And
I'm sorry, I'm sneaking over. I just need a flat nose plier.
She's have you got one?
Yes, thank you.
She's just coming to my tray to get a plier.
Pilfer your stuff.
Right, so yeah, so I would use tiger tail rather than elastic if I'm using large crystal beads. If I'm using large pearl beads, then go ahead and use elastic, just as safe. I love elastic bracelets because they're so easy to take off and to put on. Right, let's have a look what we can do with these leftover bits of pieces here. So we do the tiger tail and the beads. So a couple of things I love doing with tiger tail is to do little loop earrings, and there is so many different ways, or even little pendants you can make. There's so many different ways you can add beads onto this. What I absolutely love doing is to make a pattern, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the beads off these strands, because I'm going to have to take more and more off anyhow. So I'm just going to take, if you got anything to show us, Natalie, just let us know. And then I'll let you, we can just swap seats for a while if you like.
Okay, I'm still fiddling about with this, so
she's still fiddling, so I'm sure we'll see something soon.
Maybe.
She says maybe. Right, and then got this size crystal as well. This is a 3mm crystal. I'm just going to take them off the strand so I can quite easily just string them up when I need to and get the pearls as well. So what I absolutely love doing, so when I'm doing little, like I only got like a handful of beads left. It could be even a bead soup as well, but we only got a handful of beads left. We haven't got much left at all. Then you could make little earring. I mean, you could use them on pins, or you could do them with wire as well. But with tiger tail, it's just so quick to string it on, and we kind of like gonna do it the same way. We're gonna use a collar on the top. Oops, I don't need that many. I just want a few out on the side. So we are ready to use it, and some chrome beads as well. There we go. So I got all of my beads out. So I want to have a larger bead at the bottom. I am gonna have a, oh, I haven't done the crystals, the 6 mils. Oh, come on, there we go. They off as well. Off you go onto the side. So I want to have a larger crystal at the bottom, and from here I'm going to add other beads on side by side because I want them to be exactly the same. So I'm going to add on a pearl on either side of that crystal. Then I am going to add on a smaller crystal. This is a 4 mil crystal. Maybe I'm going to hold it just like that, so I don't have to, and I'm keep letting them down, so I can see my pattern at the bottom. Then I'm going to add on even smaller crystal than that. Oh, actually we had some 3mm pearls as well. Let me just grab some of those out. So we're just going to make a pretty little pattern, but usually start with a larger bead at the bottom. I'm not sure, I haven't tried to put these on tiger tail, so we're gonna just have a look if we can even use this very small, or they're not 3, they're 2mm pearls. Let's have a look, because these have got quite tiny holes. Is our tiger tail gonna go through? Then I'm holding 2 in my hand. Finding the hole, there we go. I think it's not gonna go through. It's not gonna, oh no, it is. There we go. It went on there. And another one. You kind of like have to find the, when the hole is small, you have to find the hole and you have to align it with the tiger tail. And as you're putting it on, if you kind of like twist the beads between your fingers, so you're just twisting the bead, it goes on easier. So we got a pretty little pattern at the bottom. I'm still going to be going, so I'm going to have another 3mm crystal. I need probably about a couple of inches worth of beads at the bottom. Maybe add a 4 mil pearl, so you could go up and down in size. Lucy's saying, I want to do some more tiger tail projects. I do like the result, but just don't do it enough. I think it's one of those things, like tiger tail for me as well comes and goes. Like there will be a period when I would be using and doing a lot of stuff on tiger tail, and then I would sort of park it for a while, as they say, and then go back to it. What I absolutely love about tiger tail, that it's quicker, like with stitching, and absolutely adore and love doing stitching projects, but they can take a bit of a time. And with tiger tail, you got great results very quickly. So if I have to make something up quickly, then I do use tiger tail. Right, okay, so will that be enough? I think that's about going to be enough. So this is going to become the bottom of our earring. Now what we could do all sorts of different things. So I could just put the color on and just have a little drop just like that. I could cross over in a pearl and then come, I'm just going to show this, but I want to add the heart on because I want to be able to wear it with the bracelet. So I could cross over in a pearl and then just add a few of the smaller beads and then add the color at the top, or, and I'm just gonna come back, I'm gonna go put the ends together, and then I'm gonna put heart on and push the heart down, and now I'm just gonna put a couple of beads at the top, and then I have got, what shall we do? I'll add a little crystal. Just a little crystal. I need to add this on both of the, I mean, I can separate the tiger tails back out and have, you know, another little sort of a weave in there, but I don't want to make it much more bigger. So the 3mm crystal doesn't go on both of the tiger tails, so I'm going to use the formula. So I'm going to add a crystal on the top, just like that, and then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my culotte, put both of the tiger tails through, and this is all like by divide, by using scrap pieces of tiger tail. I'm going to take a couple of crimp beads, although one crimp bead would be more than suffice for this one, because we're only just making a little layering. And then push all these down. I'm going to hold it from the other side. I'm going to go ahead and get in, it will try to come apart, but that doesn't matter because we're going to push this right down. So I'm going to just position it in so it feels nice and even. And I'm going to turn my culotte, even open it up a little bit if I need to. I'm going to go ahead, grab that crimp bead. Again, I'm going to pull with one hand, push with the other hand, push the crimp bead right down into the culotte. Hold on, I just lost it. There we go. Hold it again. And then go ahead and crimp it. And there we go. And just make sure it's nicely closed. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the other crimp bead, put that on there and crimp it again, just in case if the first crimp bead comes away. I have got another crimp bead on the top, and there we go, just sort of double the security. I'm going to trim my little wire. I need another cutter. Hold on, these cutters are not very good. I must have got something naughty with them.
Have I stolen them?
No, that's why I got another one here. There we go. This one is a bit better. Although I must have used this one for something naughty as well, because can you see all the wire ends in there? I am terrible. I have got a few pliers, but I really look after it. And then all you do, you just close this up, and we just need to add an air wire on it, and we got a beautiful little sort of a heart at the top, a drop at the bottom. Now we could make this drop bigger, we could make the drop smaller, we could do all sorts of different things with it. We could add other you know, sections on it, different beads. If you wanted, you could cross over more than once, all sorts of different things. Right, now I want to show you another technique with this. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to have sort of ends at the bottom to kind of like a hat pin, and then we're going to have a little, just a crimp bead at the end. So I'm going to take 2 lengths of tiger tail, and I'm going to add, this time I'm not going to use the culotte, I'm going to add the crimp bead onto all 4 of these tiger tails. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky because obviously the crimp bead is quite small, so I'm gonna kind of like twisting it as I'm going along and pushing it on. And if I can't push it onto the 4th wire, then I'm gonna do that trick that I slightly squish it a little bit. So instead of having it as a round shape, I'm having it as a oval, and then it would be easier to go on. You might, yeah, the 4th one is not on. Just push that up a bit so it's not gonna come out. And then I'm gonna take this 4th one, and I'm gonna get that one in there as well. I'm just gonna push that through, holding these together, and we are through, I think. There we go. So I just want to make sure at the top my tiger tails are the same length. So I'm just going to push that crimp bead up, then insert my finger and pull again. So I want them, both of them, the same length. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull this crimp bead right to the top, because all I want is a little loop at the top. And this is again just a little scrappy tiger tail, what I otherwise would have been throwing away. So I'm at the top. I'm gonna go ahead and crimp this on here. So 2 loops, that's what we're gonna connect up for the air wire. And then before I add any beads, I'm gonna separate my tiger tails out, and I'm gonna trim them a little bit. So I don't want them that long. This, if you're gonna do this technique, obviously we got 2 ears, so we want a pairs of earrings. So you do want to make your kind of like,
they need to be symmetrical.
they need to be, well, they're kind of symmetrical, but you need to make this still a bit longer. I think I still want to trim it a little bit. So you need to make these sort of like, kind of like you're making like little findings here first, and then add your beads onto the top of it, so they're going to be the same size. Maybe slightly trim that one as well. I'm going to trim it down to that. There's no right or wrong, I guess. And just I got the not so good. I think that's about a right size. So this is about a couple of inches here, and I think that's going to look to well. Rich was saying that would look nice as a keyring too. Yeah, you could, this one, you could add it to a keyring, you could add it to a bookmark, you could add it to anything you wanted to. Again, this one, add it to a keyring, add it to a bookmark, anything you wanted to add it to. It's just like you're kind of making little charms with it. Is 0.45 tiger tail I'm using, I believe, but let me just double check it. Yes, it is. It's 0.45. There you go. That's the one. But the tiger tail just unreeled first. I'm just gonna reel it back up. That's the one we use the most. Like I don't really use any other sizes. Very, very rarely. I don't like to go down thinner, because then it can kind of like bend and like kink easier. Thicker one, if you go thicker, then it's harder to get them through the beads. Right, okay, so I want to have the same ending for each one of these strands. So just to be, I think I'm going to use the crystals for this. I want these crystals at the bottom, but you can just have one bead on there. That would look really good as well. But I kind of want to add a few beads on there, so to make it a little bit fuller. So I'm going to add a pearl, and I'm going to go for another crystal. Shall we go? No, I'm going to go 3 mil. So we got a natural graduation towards the end. So each one of my little tiger tail spikes here, I'm going to add exactly the same beads, but because they are staggered, and we can still play with it because we can still crimp it further up if we need to. So it's not like sort of a final length. But I'm going to go ahead, just add a small, medium and a larger bead. Then I'm going to get a crimp bead. Now this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up the crimp bead with my plier. So it's right there, and it's kind of like ready to crimp. So I'm just holding it. I'm not squeezing it, I'm just holding with a plier. And I'm going to go ahead, apply it to the end, and you have to be kind of like careful, because you don't want anything sticking out at the end. You want to crimp it right, oops, and it just turned. You want to crimp it right onto the end of your tiger tail, because you don't want any scratchy feeling like on your neck. So you want to really crimp the end so there's nothing sticking out. That's it. And I'm just going to have the crystal go down, and I'm going to repeat the same for the other 3 tiger tails here. So again, just creating a little charm like ends, and using, you know, only a few beads. So if you got a few beads left over, from any of your previous projects, and you just got 4 crystals, or rather, you got 2 ears, so you're going to need 8 crystals if you want them earrings. But if you just want a few left over, you can just make a pretty, or even just a little decoration for your house or anywhere you want to put it up, really. And the crystal, I'm gonna go ahead and crimp it. Natalie, how are you doing? She's very quiet lady, isn't she?
I'm concentrated. I've made 1 earring and I'm now trying to make the other one match.
I am looking forward to seeing them.
Oh no, it's the pressure.
It's the pressure.
Honestly, if I was sitting in my house on my couch, I'd be, you know, making away, and if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. But the fact that although no one's watching me right now, I don't know, the pressure, I'm crumbling.
There, you be fine. I mean, usually sometimes I like make something and I don't like it. Right, there we go. So we got a little earring or a little component we can use, sort of anything like that. So there's other different ways you could do. We could just have one large circle if you wanted to. There is so many different things we could do. Now, other things you could do. So if you didn't have 4 tiger tails, we just used you only had 2 pieces of tiger tail folded over, so we got 4 ends. You could have 4 ends, but we could have just had, and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of my tiger tail. If we just had 1, and we did the same thing, so I'm just gonna grab a crimp bead and add it onto here. And I'm just going to add on the same ends, and I'm just going to show you what's the difference. But if you made this over and over again, just with one, you could even taper the ends a little bit. Some of them can be a little bit shorter, other ones can be a little bit longer. Really, it's up to you. I'm just going to cut this a tiny bit. So I'm going to add the same thing onto the end of this one. And if you made loads of these, you could create a fringed necklace by afterwards, and I can't see the hole. Oh, I just had it. There we go. Afterwards, stringing them onto another necklace, and I'll show you just one sec what I mean. We're gonna have to make like 20-30 of these. I absolutely love that technique, and we have done it probably a couple of times. Maybe we should do the fringe technique again. Did we do anything for the fringe technique? We haven't got anything.
We did a fringe technique. I don't know whether we used the cat's eye beads with it. Could be wrong. That was probably about 3 months ago.
Ooh, probably it's time to come back with it then, because I really do love it. So you're going to do like little fringes like that, and then what you're going to do, you're going to take a separate piece of tiger tail. I'm just going to grab some more here, and you're going to go through, imagine they're all the same and we got loads of them. So you're going to go through 1, then you would add perhaps a pearl, and then pick up the next one, then add another pearl, pick up the next one, add another pearl, and it creates this beautiful sort of waterfall-like necklace with all the beads coming down from the top, but really, really beautiful. So if you got little scrap pieces of tiger tail, you can absolutely do it with it. There's so many. Shall we do a few more?
It's a really good way of using up your ends. I'm just gonna make
maybe 2 or 3 more, because I really want to show you. It's so worth it. Like, and little scrap pieces. That's all you need to use, and just creates a beautiful technique. So I'm going to do another, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. I could put this in the middle, so if I have 2 on either side, I think that's going to look good. You could make this in any color you like. So I think this year there are going to be a lot of weddings. So perhaps you could do this in wedding colors as well. All the people who couldn't get married in the last 2 years, they're going to get married this year, I think. So I'm just doing another 3 so I can show you the effect even better. So what do we think so far?
I'm really intrigued to know what you're doing because I can't see.
You can't see each other because you got a monitor between us, don't we? Well, when you got something to show for us, then you can come around to this side and show it off, and you can see what I'm doing.
Little earrings there. So let's go for a pendant.
She's done some earrings, I'm hearing, and she's going for the pendant.
I've got a bangle. Can I say I've got a ring? Yeah.
So, because I want a couple of sort of that size, I'm just going to make sure they kind of similar sizes. So before because it's so organic, so you don't have to pay too much attention to it, but I just kind of like to put it down and in a way visualize it. So I'm just gonna, like this one is a little bit too long, so I just know I need to trim this one, and then they're pretty much the same size then. Then another way, I guess, to make sure they're all the same size, so if you do cut your tiger tail for this, cut it before you fold it over and crimp it, because then they're pretty much going to be the same size. So I am just gonna very quickly make these. So I'm just adding a small crystal, a medium pearl, then a large crystal to every single one of these little tiger tail ends. Gonna crimp them. And there we go at one end. Crimp the other end. And then repeat it, just so I can show you, so you can really see what does it look like. It's such a lovely technique. I'm using 2mm crimp beads. Yes, they are 2mm. That's the only one we stock really. Oh, I did one like this, but the crimp beads tickled. So if that happens, Diane just said that, what you can do, you can add a crimp cover over the crimp bead, and I'm going to grab one and show you how to do that, because once you add the crimp cover over the crimp bead, then it creates, like it turns the crimp bead into, like adds a cover over it. I'll show you just one sec. Let me just finish this, and then I'll grab the crimp covers and I'll show you. And crimp covers comes in so many different nice finishes. I think there's a stardusty one as well, which looks absolutely amazing. So instead of looking at the crimp bead, you will be looking like a little bead. DIY dream weddings. I'm not made earrings yet, she's saying. Not tonight, or all together. I'm obviously not tonight. That one's gonna take about 9 minutes. There we go. Just grab another one, and then the pearlies. Now, if you had a bead soup, like all sorts of mixture beads, they would work well as well. You don't have to add the same pattern to every single end of tiger tail. There is so many different things you could do. Right, and I'm just adding the crimp bead. Oops. Pinged it away. There we go. And adding the one to this one as well. So now we got 5 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and get the bigger tiger tail. I'm going to add a 6mm pearl, one of my little fringe, another 6mm pearl. Now when I'm picking them up, I am trying to pick them up so the longer length is at the back and the shorter length is at the front of the tiger tail. So just nicely shaped, and I keep picking up one pearl in between every single looped fringe I add on. I know this is nowhere near, so 5 is nowhere near enough. I would probably want to have at least 4 or 5 inches of this on a necklace, but just to sort of demonstrate it, and let me just cut the other end. So we got a longer length to show off here. Just one sec, because that end is still attached to my, and I need to add another pearl on there. So just to show it off to you that it does really look very nice. I really do love this technique. Now we could have made these bits shorter if you wanted to, if you don't want them too long. Okay, they keep gonna go up. But a really, really beautiful technique. I do love it. Oh, Cherry's saying I have a very large bowl of soup beads. Oh, absolutely, you could use them, because if they like similar colors, they will all go together. Oh, it's Debbie's birthday. Happy birthday, Debbie.
Happy birthday.
I'm not going to sing it because I'm tone deaf, so my voice is not really great, but a very happy birthday. I hope you've been spoiled today. Oh, she's just eating her birthday cake. Oh, bless.
Ooh. Did you get anything nice?
Oh, Lucy, you could make one of these in pink. Rachel is suggesting. Michelle is saying she's got 2 weddings to go to this year. I got 1 wedding to go to as well. I don't even know what I'm wearing. And most importantly, I don't even know what jewellery I'm going to be wearing, because I'm probably going to decide on a jewellery first and then go out and hunt for a dress to wear.
I haven't got any weddings, don't think, planned. I've got one next year.
Right, I am going to grab the crimp covers and I'm going to show you how to add them at the bottom, and I'm going to show you what they are. So you know, so if you have a little bit of scratchy feelings from your crimp beads, then that's what you can do. So let me just, will I be able to put my hands on them just now? Oh yes, I got them. This is a rare occurrence, so I can find something for the very first time very quickly. Right, I'm going to add the same color, the rhodium color on there. So crimp covers, these finding, which is kind of like a C shape. Oh, where shall I put it so it will focus on it? So it's like, come on camera, oops, and then it just rolls away. It's a C shape and it's open on one end. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick this up with the pliers. So I'm going to pick up the pliers that the opening of the C is facing away from the plier. So when I get the end of the tiger tail, when I get the crimp bead, I'm just going to add a little knot on this tiger tail so the beads are not all gonna run off of there. So when I get to my crimp bead, I am ready to turn this little C into a ball. So my tiger tail is there, my crimp bead is on the end of it. I'm gonna just slit it inside this and I'm just going to push it together, turn it into a ball. Now I don't want to squeeze it out, so I squeezed it sort of this way. The ends are almost together, and I'm gonna quarter turn it and squeeze it here, then come back, squeeze it here, until one end kind of goes over the other, and then I have got a little ball at the end rather than the crimp bead. So I'm just going to show you again. Pick up another one from my mat. They're all kind of facing the wrong way to pick up. Let's turn it around. There we go. Because I want to pick it up with the C facing out. Then I'm going to go over this crimp bead and just turn it into a little ball shape. And then you're not going to have the scratchy feeling from the crimp beads anymore. And you can see at the end, they just look like sort of an end of a hat pin ball, just a tiny little ball. And I think they look rather pretty as well. Oh, Debbie's saying climbing the ladder to 70 now. Oh, bless you. Well, did you know 70 is a new 40 or 30 or what they say? 70 is a new 30, 40, Natalie?
Yeah.
21? 70 is a new 21. Let's go lower. So there we go. That's how you add
I
culotte.
don't know. I'm in my mid-30s and I'm thinking, yeah, I don't feel young and vibrant, so
No.
not really.
Well, it doesn't matter how old you are. It's what matters how old you feel. Sometimes I feel like 100.
That's the issue.
Lucy's saying, oh, I have a few of those cream covers. Now I know what to do with them. There you go. I think
Lucy just likes to have one of everything, even if she doesn't know what to do with it.
I think we all have stuff like that in a cupboard. That, and I am guilty of this so much. And I do love other crafts as well. So often if I go to an exhibition, I pick up bits and pieces that I have no idea to how I use them anymore, because I perhaps seen a demo on it such a long time ago that you just forget, like, you know. So they're in the cupboard. But maybe we have to have like a UFO day at some point and just finish them all off. Let me just get all those bits. Are you ready to show anything to us, lovely, or not yet?
You can have a little look at what I've done so far. I'm just faffing about with a pendant now. I kind of feel like I should have had a design in mind before I just went rogue.
The rogue designs are the best ones. I'm just gonna let Natalie sit down and show you what she's been doing. Debbie saying 21 sounds good.
I don't know whether I'd want to be 21 again.
I don't know, I quite like 21.
Hello everybody, you alright? What I've been doing, where's the map? There it is. Okay, so I started off with a little bracelet. It needs some work, it's not quite right.
That's using the pearls from the Earth kit, isn't it? The
Yeah.
6mm ones.
And then made myself my own little adjustable, well, not adjustable, but handmade clasp to finish that off. So that needs a bit of fixing. Then I've had a little go at a ring using one of the hearts.
Eye heart.
Focus. I'm surprised it fits. I didn't use it to my finger. But I also used like little, can we get this to focus? Little heart spirals around it.
Lift it up a bit. I don't know what's up with my camera, but it's been...
There you go. So I finished it off with little hearts. You know, thanks Lucy, going for a Valentine's feel. And then I haven't got my ring hooks, but these...
I love those. I think they look great.
Now, I've done them, but I've done them going in the same way. They should really be kind of opposite, shouldn't they, I suppose?
Well, then you just have to make another two, and then
well,
you
there
will have
you
a pair
go.
and I will have a pair.
Well, there you go. We could be matching.
Oh.
Thank you, DIY Jean. That's very kind of you. Hi, everybody. You all right? So, yeah, now I'm working on a pendant. Look at these. Look at what I've been missing. Oh, I'm loving that. Ooh. Yeah, fringe jewellery is lovely. We should do fringe again.
Absolutely.
Oh, you could do them with the little hearts coming down the bottom.
Yeah, if you made a few of those hearts, then we could have added the hearts to the bottom.
They're sweet.
There's so many different things you could do.
Yeah, they're lovely. They'd make sweet little earrings. I've now come over here thinking, what else can I steal?
Anything you want.
Okay, I'll be back in a bit then.
She'll be back in a bit. She'll be stealing. Right, so we have got some larger pendants in the pack as well. So we could do any techniques using a larger pendant in the middle. So that could be another thing what we do. But then equally, you know, you could just use a single strand for this one because the pendant already going to be really beautiful and sparkle in the middle. Now this pendant has got a hole sort of going horizontal, but this one has got a hole going front to back. So you kind of have to string it a different way. So this one you could start at one end, string your beads on, add the pendant on, then string it from the other side. But this one you're going to have to either hook the tiger tail on or add a bead into the middle and then hook it on that way. So you have got the tiger tail hanging the same way, because if I'm just going to grab a tiger tail. If I just add this onto my tiger tail, when I'm wearing it, even though if I have beads on both sides, the heart is slightly always going to turn. If I go through this one and add beads on either side, the heart is going to sit perfectly at the front. So what I'm going to do, let me just cut this tiger tail. There's a couple of ways we could, and I'm trying to cut the tiger tail with my chain nose pliers. I think I lost the plot tonight. I picked up the wrong pliers. What a silly moo I am tonight. So there's two ways you could do it. So I'm just going to add both ends through the hole and then pull this through. But before it comes through, I'm going to go through that loop. So just kind of like looping that tiger tail onto the front. Now I'm going to take this apart in a minute, and what I'm going to do is to add a few small beads at the bottom there. So I'm not going to be seeing the tiger tail itself, but I'm going to be seeing the beads instead. But that's a way to add it on, so it's going to hang really nice. So I'm going to use my very small crystals to go around there, and it's going to be kind of like look like that I am wrapping the small crystals around the base of the bale there. Just add a few more. We might have to take some off I want to have a few more on there. Just trying to find a hole on there and just stringing them all on. There we go. Oh, come on, there we go. Sometimes crystals can be a little tricky when they're small, because as you're turning them around, they sparkle, and the sparkle kind of look like a hole. So I'm going to add the two ends back in, and before this loop disappears, I'm going to pull my tiger tail through. But I'm going to make sure that the crystals are not coming through. Turn it around, there we go. Crystals are not coming through. Maybe we need to take, no, up to probably that's the right size. So I will have a little, maybe one or two less. So let's pull that through. Take one off. I will have a little strand of crystals just there, sorry, at the bottom. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead, separate the two ends apart, and I'm going to start adding any pattern to going either side. So that's one way to deal with your tiger tail if the loop on the, but we could have added a jump ring on there and then put our tiger tail to the jump ring. That's another way you could have made it sit the right way, but kinda then the pendant's sort of gonna hang down too much, so I like to do that. It doesn't matter, I love doing necklaces where the pattern going up is all sort of mixed up, and using all sorts of different size beads in different orders, just always adding the same two to either side, same ones to either side, so you kind of have got a nice equal looking necklace, but in terms of your pattern it can be quite random. You can use smaller beads, larger beads. Let me just take this down. So that will be the start of our necklace. What do we think of that for a solution? And when we crimp this, those crystals are kind of like just gonna go into the middle, just like that. Barbara is saying, please make something with cotton cord or suit cord. I don't see a lot made with these. I'll put it on the list and we'll have a go at that one some point. Absolutely. I love with cotton cord, or I love doing knotted jewellery. That's a really beautiful way to, and with knotted jewellery, the good thing about that as well, that it can make your stash go even further. I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm just going to add a few more here, so you will see the kind of pattern you can make. So all sorts of, and this again, don't forget, these are very quick jewelry makes, because you could have a necklace in as quick. Have I got any more 4mm pearls? I think I might have used them up. Let's see if we can add these smaller ones on. As long as it takes you to string the beads on, which can be quite quick. And you're gonna go on. No, I'm gonna leave these very small ones out for now because they won't be very quick to add on. There's a couple of more 4mm here. I think because we've been using them last week as well. Might have, oh no, they're here. There's still some on the strand. They haven't taken it off. So we're just gonna take this off, but we're just gonna make a pattern up, going all the way up. There we go. There is the rest of the 4mm. So I'm just gonna add any random pattern. I'm not even paying attention, just however I'm picking them up. Pearls, crystals, because we're using the same ones over and over again, they're all gonna look really good together. And if you got a bead soup, again, you could do the same thing from that one. Just make sure you're picking up the same two when you adding them on side by side. And that's why I always like to start in the middle when I'm designing a necklace, because if I run out of particular beads and I don't have to take it all off, I know I can just use a different one further up, and it's going to be symmetric on both sides.
Sounds like it's getting very windy outside.
Yeah, it is getting very windy outside. I'm sure it will pass tonight. I hope it will pass tonight. I'm really looking forward to for better weather, I guess. I keep saying, oh, I'm just looking forward to the summer. I think after Christmas, it's always like you just want to fast forward to the summer, to the good sunny weather, to be able to be outside. We are in the middle of February now, so I think we've got February, March and April. April is when it changes, isn't it, a bit?
A little bit of spring.
Bring on the spring, but what we can do spring projects inside using spring colors, perhaps doing some flowers, sort of speed up the spring for us, or at least feel like that we sped up the spring a little bit.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the lucite leaves
That day.
I was going to say last week, it was this week still, wasn't it?
Right, so I got about 4 inches on each side, but I think let me just zoom out. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just zoom out for you, but I think you get it there. Or shall I'll go all the way. Shall we finish it? I'm going to finish this necklace up quickly. It's not going to take me too long. But as you can see, I'm adding the same on both sides. And because we added those crystals at the bottom, it's just going to look like as the part of the necklace just there. So let's just carry on. It's not going to take me long. Maybe 5 minutes tops.
Is that how long I've got to finish this?
That's how long you got to finish that. You got 5 minutes.
Right, great. But don't judge me on it, on my weaving, because I am rushing.
What are you finishing?
I'm making a pendant.
She's making a pendant. Cool. They'll be saying, hope my garden furniture hasn't blown around the garden. I think the weirdest thing I've seen, one it was on somebody's trampoline blown away.
Yeah. Wheelie bins taking flight.
Yep. And especially here, because obviously we are the seaside, and it can be really, really windy sometimes coming off the sea. So we are second row back from the seafront. But I can imagine people who live on the seafront, like for them, they have to probably tie everything down. So I think it would be fun to make some jewelry related project. Absolutely, we could do that. We could do maybe red, white and blue jewelry as well. That would be great. Oh, there's so many different, these beautiful things you could do. Ooh, you're giving me an idea now. I'm going to go in tomorrow and look around the warehouse what we got in some beautiful colors. Oh, I love it. Oh, there is more. I need a few more 6mm because I'm keep adding the smaller ones on there. Some larger pearls as well. I want to do the loose side tree that I saw on the handmade page for girls. I seen it as well. It was really nice. It was Camille, I think, who put it on. Very, very beautiful. There's so many different things you could do. Like, this is what another thing what I love about beads, that you don't just have to use it for jewelry. You can use it for home decor as well and do all sorts of different things. And I need a little bit more. It's just really, I just love it. I just love it. What home decor have you making, Natalie?
Nothing much for a while, to be honest. I think it was probably a sun catcher was the last beaded home decor. I think, Christmas tree decorations were probably the last thing I did.
I think that's what, like, about Christmas. Every single year we always try to make something, like a new decoration or tinker around with something ever growing of boxes of decorations I have. But I love it. I really want to do more like beaded flowers this year, or maybe do some new trees. You know, I love my gem trees.
Just say there's just so many things you can do with them.
I know, there's just not enough hours in the day.
Now,
Ladies, has anybody please?
That's what I feel like I should have done with this. No, I should have made a tree of life pendant on the front of it.
Could do.
Have you only given me 5 minutes? It's too late now.
I haven't finished yet, so it's still all right.
Well, I'm not going to be able to finish this in 5 minutes and do a tree of life.
Why not? We need time travel invented, I think. That's what we need.
I mean, the joy of this is taking your time with it, but I want to make sure I've got something looking.
Can you
finished.
imagine if you could have like 48 hours in every day? So we would have had like 2 days in one day. How much stuff we could get done.
I know, but look imagine how old I'd look and how tired I'd look.
Oh, bless. Oh, Diane is saying, what about having a look at the Queen's jewellery and do something beaded? She has got, I have to say, the most amazing brooches as well. And always when isn't it like, I think it's like sort of a jewellery maker thing that every single time when I see a jewellery what I really, really like, and I was like, ooh, like, you know, how could I make that? Or how could I achieve that pattern with my own beads and do different things? So it's just so interesting. I just really do love it.
You should make a crown.
Well, but the crown you can't really wear like at shopping in the
Well,
supermarket, but a
that's what
brooch
you
you absolutely
think.
could.
Next time I'm doing the dishes, you'll see me with my crown on.
Or we're gonna have to get Dave to take a picture of that for us. Natalie's saying she's gonna be wearing a crown next time when she's doing the dishes. She's gonna make one.
I did actually make my son a crown the other day. I'd done one, like a tiara type elfin thing for my friend who's wanting one for World Book Day. She's an English teacher, so that's what she's going as. So I made it and Frank took a liking to it. So he got one as well.
Oh, best.
Just to keep him from touching things I was trying to make. I was like, no, don't touch that. You can have this instead.
Right, I got long enough, so I'm just adding the culotte and a couple of crimp beads on. Oh, I should have done the other colorway, the earth colorway. That would have gone with my top. Well, I suppose the purple will be all right as well. Adding a couple of crimp beads. I'm going to go ahead and crimp one side. So again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to hold and pull the tiger tail with one hand, hold the crimp bead at the tip of my pliers, push it down and push away and crimp it, and then do the same thing with the second one. And there we go. And I'm going to go on to the other side, pull this up nice and tight, add another culotte here, a couple of crimp beads, and crimp it on this side as well. Oh, Lucy wants a princess crown, Natalie.
Right, okie dokie, leave it with me. In pink by any chance?
Most probably. You could do it rose gold wire.
Ooh.
Right, so I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to pull with the one hand, crimp it with the other, push away and crimp it with the other. And then crimp the second one as well. And there we go. And I'm gonna go and trim the tiger tail right on the top of the second crimp bead. Again, I got little ends left over, which I'm putting on a side. Actually, I'm going to show you how to do a little link just in a sec. And then I'm going to close up the culottes. Just push them together. And I'm going to add a jump ring to one side and a culotte to the other side. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of about the right size for me. I might maybe prefer a couple of inches longer, so I'm gonna lengthen it with some jump rings, because I just hold it up. Where is, where are, there we go, there is the lobster clasp. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the lobster clasp onto one end, and then add a little chain of jump rings on the other. So that will allow me to wear it shorter or longer, depending on what I have got on. So if I'm wearing it over a jumper, then I perhaps need to wear it a little longer. If I'm wearing it like with a top, then I can wear it a little shorter as well. So make sure go through both of those ends. I'm going to add the lobster clasp on this side. There we go. I'm going to close it back in. Make sure it's closed all the way. Then I am going to go ahead and add a few jump rings on the other side. So I'm adding number 1. I'm going to close this in, and then I'm just going to open up another one, a link into the one I just added, close that in, and I'm probably going to do maybe 5, 6, 7-ish, just to have a little length of jump ring chain. If you added any chain, you could add an actual chain. There is actually a thing called extension chain, but I don't think actually I got any home extension chains, because usually I just make it from jump rings, or I just cut some jewelry chain. And you can make the extension chain really pretty as well by taking one bead, like for example a crystal or a pearl from the necklace, add it onto a hat pin and just dangle it down right on the last ring, and that can just sort of dangle on the back of your neck, and that looks really pretty as well. So I think maybe one more. That's probably going to be the right size. And if you make jewelry for somebody else, this is a great way, so they can, if you're not 100% sure about the size they need to wear or they wear or like to wear, this is a great way to, so they can wear it on any length they want. Now I'm going to put this on. Jo is back. She's had her shower. I take my neck out. I'm going to come full screen and show you, and it sits really nicely just over my top. I love it. It looks really cool. What do we think? Let me know. It just sits perfectly. What do you think, Natalie?
Let me have a look.
I think it looks good.
That's gorgeous.
It looks good, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice.
I really do love it. What do we think, ladies? Do let me know. It sits perfectly. I love a where's the lobster glass? There we go. I love a pendant. I love a pendant.
You might like this one. I've started work on another just because I wasn't sure.
She started to work on another.
I'm going with
Right.
the clappers.
How are we doing? Have you got anything to show us?
Yep.
Oh, she's coming around. And there we go.
Hello again.
Here we go again.
So, I've made this pendant. No.
Oh, that's on the larger. There was that heart as cat eye heart, isn't it?
Yeah. Now this is why I'm thinking I could have done a tree of life on this one. If I was to have a little bit more time, I'd have probably done a little bit more of a weave on these to secure them. This is what the back looks like. And I've put a little sneaky pearl in there too. But just love the shimmer on that. They're so gorgeous.
I love cat's eyes. I absolutely love it.
I mean, it's a little bit weddenish as well, I suppose, isn't it? All beach. Reminds me of the beach because it's like a seashell. So that's my pendant. I've just done a little weave going through. It has got a little hole at the top, so I have secured one of the bail wires running through there, and I've just done a little figure of 8 bail. Could be neater, but I was in a rush. I was told I had 5 minutes at that point. So that is my little pendant. I'm going to probably work on another one. I do love doing them. There's just so many different things you can do.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Right. You could do a tree of life on one of these larger hearts as well. There's so many different things we could do. Right, my lovelies. I'm actually gonna love you and leave you tonight. Me and Natalie is gonna, this is her last night down here. So I think we're gonna go and grab a glass of night. Can't even talk now. A glass of night, a glass of wine tonight, and put the word to right.
That would be very lovely.
So tomorrow morning we'll be back on Totally Beads. Natalie's going to be with me. We're going to have somewhat a different session. We're going to be in the warehouse and probably up to no good as always when we're together. But it's going to be, so do tune in for Totally Beads for that. Then Natalie will do Wednesday and Friday. I'll be back next Sunday night, and the new bundle gonna go up tomorrow as well, so do look out for that one. I will pop a post on Facebook for you, but it's just gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a little bit different. So everybody have a beautiful night. Or
so
afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate every single one of you coming and watching us. It's really, it's like, I love doing these lives. Like, you know me, like I'm so insecure about the tech stuff because like I go on and the microphone doesn't work and it's like really stresses me out. But I care less about my insecurities. That I like, I just love connecting with you on the lives and just come and chat with you. Thank you so much everybody joining in tonight, and we see you very, very soon. Bye everybody. Bye.